Oilers, Habs, Leafs, Jets. Dog? Woo! Let's go, baby! Let's go! North Division Playoffs. Can't sit down for this one. Canada's first guaranteed trip to a Stanley Cup Conference Final, baby! It's been 30 years since a Canadian team has brought home the Stanley Cup. The Montreal Canadiens were the last to do it in 1993, defeating Wayne Gretzky and the Los Angeles Kings. Since then, we've had a couple sniffs. We've had the Edmonton Oilers blow it. We've had the Calgary Flames get there and blow it. We had some other team of scrubs that never did it and were probably never part of the league to begin with blow it against Pittsburgh. But now, is this the year? Are one of our four teams going to get there? This has been an incredible journey into hockey. I don't know about you guys, but I have made a lot of amazing friends and existing friends across Canada in different cities due to these rivalries. Canadian fans love their team and the pressure is on. You can feel it. You can see it in the social media posts. There's some people being great sportsmen. There's others taking this way too seriously like they play for the team. But do you blame them? Do you blame them? You got the Jets, 11 years in the league, 2.0, lost their team for almost 20, craving a cup. You have the Edmonton Oilers, who have been the tale of sad mediocrity since their great dynasty with Gretzky left. Now with the next Gretzky, you have the legendary Montreal Canadiens and their 10 billion Stanley Cups and supporting fans, Anglo and French, all over Canada and the United States. And then you got them. You got the diehard, bandwagoning, shirt-tucking, corporate $22 beer drinking Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and Leafs Nation is fired up, baby. I don't blame you, Leafs Nation, for being jacked up. This is your year. If there was ever a year in Leafs Nation, this is it. You've got the coach. You've got the offense. You've got the depth. You've gone all in. You've been waiting, but you can feel it in Leafs land. Oh, you can feel it. It's creeping down your neck. That seed of doubt. You can feel those first round exits. You can feel 55 years of sheer mediocrity and disappointment hanging over you. It's doubt. It's searching for a weakness inside that armor that you've built for yourself, becoming the first place team in Canada, the second most odds favorited team on moneypuck.com. This is it. If it was ever it, it's now. But you've got to get through two other teams, and then you've got to get through what you have been told are better teams than you to win a cup. But is that true? Stick with us. I am going to choose the winner of the Canadian Division. We're going to break down every matchup. Leafs, Habs, Battle of Anglos, Battle of French, Toronto, Montreal, diehard versus diehard, bandwagon versus bandwagon, system versus depth, legacy and legacy. And then we're going to go into one of the best unsung rivalries in the NHL. Edmonton and Winnipeg know it. They know there's a rivalry. The cities are carved from the same block. They're the different side of a same coin. Cold, freezing, underpopulated, blue collar, hardworking, beautiful summers, fantastic people, die hard fans and players. Who is going to come out of this rivalry that has been around since the days of the WHA? Will it be the Oilers? Will it be the Jets? Let's roll that intro and we are going to get to the North Division breakdown, baby! We got Montreal. We have the Canadiens with an E. We got the Leafs, spelled as normally as you can spell Leafs. Habs, Maple Leafs. You wanted it. You got it. The people of Toronto, the people of Montreal, everybody on this channel, everybody on my TikTok has been saying, this is what we want. I don't really know why. I mean, you guys literally play each other all the time and it never ends and you dominate Hockey Night in Canada, but you wanted it. You're here again. And I can't wait to watch this series. Two very different teams. The Montreal Canadiens looking for a spark. Fire Claude Julien. Was that the right call? Was that the right call? We'll talk about that as we take a look at the tail of the tape and break down each team. The Toronto Maple Leafs stick with a young, unproven coach who has been a mastermind at developing young talent. Kyle Dubas, who has given him everything he's asked for in terms of depth, added depth at every position. Nick Foligno, goaltending depth. Jack Campbell's been a revelation for the Leafs. Guess it or not, he's hot, baby. Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza, Zach Hyman's returning. Shea Weber comes back. And the name Montreal Canadian fans know could steal the series, and they dare not whisper because they don't want to jinx it. Carey Price, arguably one of the best goaltenders in the NHL and of his generation today. So let's go ahead and get to the tail of the tape. So a disclaimer for our audience, before I make my picks, before I read through the coach's breakdown, before we look at the tail of the tape, you need to know something. There needs to be a winner and there needs to be a loser. There are no participation trophies in sport. It's a competition. Habs players, they think they're going to win this series. They believe it in their hearts. They should. Leafs players, they think they're going to win this series. They believe it in their hearts. They should. The Habs fans believe it. The Leafs fans, half of them believe it, and half of them still have PTSD from not being able to do it against the Bruins, but they still believe it, and you cannot blame anybody wearing blue or red for cheering and backing their team and having unequivocated beliefs that they're going to be able to do this. There's no point in playing sports if you don't believe your team can do this. So if you disagree with my opinions, go ahead and smash a comment. If you like what I'm saying, go ahead and smash a like. If you are finding your way to this first channel and you're like, who is this crazy guy, but I kind of like him, smash the subscribe. But keep it classy and realize that people are just doing their best. They're going to back their squad. They're going to back their team. The best part about sports is we can make this prediction now. We can make a prediction for the conference championship, but that prediction will adjust after the puck is dropped for the first game. That prediction will adjust after the series is settled. That prediction adjusts shift by shift. So we are trying to predict a Stanley Cup winner, a North Division champion. We will adjust it as the playoffs go forward. And if you're dead set and for your team and against what I say, join the conversation. Be part of the group. Chirp all you want. That's the best part of sports. We all can't win. And if we do end up losing, do me a favor. Don't riot. Don't go over the top. It's just a team. The best part about sports that we all have to take from the COVID-19 pandemic is that unlike anything else in life, there will always be next year. And that is not something I say jokingly. There will always be next year. That is the best part about sports, whether you are a winner or a loser. You get to come back and try again next year. That is why sports is so important to people. That is why sports is such an important part of our communities. And that is why we all love it. It simulates challenge, competition, overcoming obstacles, heartbreak, and loss, because there can be no joy and no heaven without pain and suffering. If everything was just good, you'd never feel alive. And what a great way to simulate it. So Habs fans, Leafs fans, Jets fans, and Oilers fans, class it up. You lose, you lose. Take it on the chin like a man, like a woman, like an adult, however you identify. Tell your kids there'll always be next year, because there will be. Now let's get into the tail of the tape, baby, because we got no room for crying on this bandwagon. 7-3. Toronto leads the series. Clearly the most dominant team in the NHL North right now. They have owned the Habs since the first puck dropped. The Habs are two different teams, one under Claude Julien up until the second week of January. One that started slipping. Was it due to injury? Was it due to coaching? What was it due to? Craig Button gave his opinions. His home province of Quebec brought out the pitchforks and the torches. They didn't like him for it. He said today on NHL radio he didn't care. He made a prediction that the Habs were going to do well in January. He reassessed that prediction now. And it's assessed on the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs lead this series 7-3, but there's more to talk about. We can't just settle in a pick. We need to look at all angles. Heads up goals, 3.4 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, a class of the North Division. Tops in the NHL. The top 5 teams in the NHL are this close to each other in goals. The Montreal Canadiens, a putrid 2.5. But the Montreal Canadiens aren't built on scoring goals. They're built on defense and fantastic goaltending. They're built on excellent systems. They're built on a team game. You don't win 23 Stanley Cups not being built that way. Goals within the division, the Toronto Maple Leafs, 3.35, good enough for 5th. The Habitants du Montréal, 2.82, 17th. Is that going to win a Stanley Cup? We'll see. We'll see. The power play, where everything is won or lost in the playoffs. Mediocrity shines on both teams. Pure mediocrity. 20.30. That's a problem for the Leafs. That's a huge weakness. Maybe it's your kryptonite. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been saving it for the playoffs. I guess we'll see what all that talent ends up getting you when that first puck drops. We see the league's greatest goal scorer in Auston Matthews. One of the best setup men and speedsters in Mitch Marner. The hardworking grizzled vet of Nic Fogliano. JT, one of the best captains in the league. And Willie Nylander. You had it. You had it. You were there. Everything was cool there, hanging on every word, and you blow it with Nylander. It's Nylander. Idiot. Montreal comes in at 19th and 18th for power play and penalty kill. Nothing special here. We understand it. As soon as Carey Price went down, that penalty kill percentage went through the floor. But Carey Price is coming back. So this is the tale of the tape, but there's more to talk about. Once Shea Weber, Brendan Gallagher return, Carey Price returns, that is a shot in the arm that the Montreal Canadiens have been waiting for, or is it? That's all we've heard about for the last 3 weeks. If we didn't have the injuries, we would be doing better. Maybe. Tyler Toffoli, where does Cole Caulfield fit in? He has been amazing. Goal scoring machine. Nick Suzuki turning into the #1 center that you hoped he would be. KK looks like he is ready to step up. He's had a great last 2 weeks. How does this team put the pieces together? Are they going to be able to keep the shots from the onslaught of the unbelievably deep, the league's deepest, in the Toronto Maple Leafs to the outside? Is Carey Price going to be able to see everything he needs? And are the Habs going to buy in and believe in Ducharme? These are all questions that will be answered at the drop of the first puck. And they're valid questions to ask, but there's not much tactical to talk about. If you look at this on paper, they should get rolled. The Leafs should gobble them up, spit them out, and move on in 4. But Leafs fans are nervous, and they have a right to be nervous. Is this team really ready to go? I don't know. Your veteran presence is Jason Spezza and Joe Thornton, both guys that have been to the dance and couldn't close. Their dates picked another guy. Their date is a big, shiny Stanley Cup that has eluded them for 15 to 20 years. Is this the year? Do we get to see a Ray Bourque, Teemu Selanne moment with Thornton and Spezza lifting the cup in their hometown? John Tavares in pajamas with a Stanley Cup. Are we going to see it? The depth of the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's without question. The defensive core of the Toronto Maple Leafs is without question middle of the pack. Sorry. Morgan Riley is a stud. Justin Hall looks serviceable. Jake Muzzin is, well, ask a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, they'll say they love him. Ask another one, they'll say he's a dud. Ask a Habs fan, they'll say overrated. I say Jake Muzzin is a very serviceable 3-4 defenseman. Nothing wrong with him. And Jackie Boy, Captain Jack Campbell, the story of the world, the 11th overall draft pick, leading Team USA to a World Junior Championship and not finding success till today. Jack Campbell's got bad angles. He guesses wrong. His rebound control is mediocre at best, but his numbers are hot. You can't argue with success of Jack. Will it continue through the playoffs? Like Tim Thomas and Dominic Hasek that came before him, will his guessing prowess be able to carry them to a cup? Those are two excellent goalies that were able to guess. We don't know. Do the Habs hold the key to unlocking Jack Campbell's mediocrity? Or is Campbell carrying you all the way through? Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats. Toffoli leads the Habs right now with 44 points. Jeff Petrie, power play specialist, comes in at 42. Nick Suzuki, the young man turning into a fantastic two-way center. And then, middle of the pack, Joel Armia, a first-line player, cut basically by the Winnipeg Jets. Frustrated he couldn't move past the fourth line. Playing in the final minutes for Montreal. Fine player. Watched him for a long time. Concerning that he's got the role that he has. Habs fans, you can not like that all you want, but it's my truth. If it's not yours, smash a comment down below and let me know. Philip Deneau and Shea Weber will be back. No problem. The concussion will heal. Weber is waiting for the playoffs. Carey Price will be back. I hear Brendan Gallagher is supposed to be back. I don't think Jonathan Drouin will be. I haven't read a report about Jonathan Drouin, but getting those 4 players back is massive. That's an entire line in hockey. Big, big deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Leafs. Mitch Marner leads this team with 67 points because he's feeding the great white shark, Auston Matthews. One of the best forecheckers in the NHL, one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. Watch when he skates. He produces almost no snow when he turns. He's floating above the ice. Fantastic hockey player. Great nose for the puck. Aggressive, able to cause turnovers and wreak havoc on teams' defenders in all zones. Auston Matthews comes in with one of the best shots in the NHL. A finisher, a stud, a beast. Arguably the second best player in the world next to McDavid, and to some the best depending on how you evaluate goals. He comes in at an NHL leading over Alexander Ovechkin, over Connor McDavid, over Sidney Crosby in his career. He has 1.62 goals per 60 minutes played. It is almost 0.5 higher than the next closest person. He fills the net. It doesn't matter if you disagree, don't agree, he fills the net. He is strong defensively. He has blocked more shots in his career, which is 1 year shorter than Connor McDavid by a mile. He's defensively responsible. He's a big man in his own zone. He's not afraid to lay the body, and he's not afraid to support his defenseman for a puck. He's excellent. Then you're adding John Tavares, arguably the best captain in the North. Sorry, Oilers fans. I'm not just talking about best player. I'm talking about the best captain. This guy takes a back seat to Auston Matthews, plays the second line willingly, takes Willie Nylander under his wing, making him something. Doesn't worry about not having to play with Mitch Marner. Doesn't worry about his position on the power play or the penalty kill. Knows he'll get his, puts team first, wants to win a cup. This guy has put his team first, and he has been the glue that has solidified egos and players from multiple countries and multiple regions and multiple areas in the Toronto locker room. He's the bridge between Joe Thornton and young players like Mitch Marner. John Tavares is one of the best at it. He is one of the best on the half wall. He's a fantastic player. So I have him as my captain of the North right now, even above my beloved Blake Wheeler. And then Morgan Rielly, Zach Hyman returning. Rielly is a stud of a defenseman. This team is deep, baby. So let's get to brass tacks. What are we calling? We have to pick a winner. Somebody's going to cry. People are going to be pissed off. They're going to come for my head. They're going to burn it down. They'll call me a loser, a bandwagoner, trash. Read the name of the YouTube channel, buddy. Hot Garbage Sports. Listen to the intro. Welcome to the worst sports channel on YouTube. Hot Garbage Sports. Now get ready. Hearts are going to be broken. Leafs in 5. It pains me to say it, Montreal. You've got a great system. Even if Carey Price comes back, even if Shea Weber comes back, even if Gallagher comes back, even if you play some of your best hockey, this Leafs team is legit. And Leafs fans that are sitting at home and nervous and worried about it and not wanting to get your hopes up, that's a defense mechanism. Go ahead and use it, but you're winning this series. This is a good team. It pains me to stay taking knives out of my back to continue saying these sentences and these words, but the Leafs will roll over to Habs in 5. You disagree, let me know down below. And Habs fans on this channel, I love all of you. If I am wrong, I will make a video admitting I'm wrong. That's the best part about sports predictions. And it's basically a 50-50 coin flip anyway, if you think about it, because there's really only 2 outcomes, Leafs or Habs. So, like, it's not like we're solving anything through statistics. It's just a prediction. Leafs in 5. That's my call. All right. That brings us on to our other battle. Jets, Oilers. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I hate the Edmonton Oilers. Love the Edmonton Oilers fans. Don't ever get that twisted. People of Edmonton, different from the Edmonton Oilers themselves. There's only 22 guys that are the Edmonton Oilers, and if they have a problem, they can let me know. They're probably bigger, faster, stronger, and richer than me anyway. But the rest of you, no issue. No beef. If you win, good on you. This is going to be a heck of a series. I think it's going to be better than people give it credit for. The Jets just don't look like the Jets team they should look like. Let's talk about what's going on in the Jets world right now. Scheifele, Wheeler, Connor. When this line gets together, it's all offense. They are not defensively responsible. Come at me, Jets fans. I will take it. They are not playing the defensive zone structure that they should play. They are not supporting their defensemen back on the transition game. They are looking to score. This is as a unit. I'm not picking on a single player. When you add Nic Ehlers to this line, Nic Ehlers is the best forward on the Winnipeg Jets right now, which is why I have been saying he needs to play with Scheifele and Connor, because he turns the line into defensive responsibility. He pushes the pace back into his own zone. He holds puck possession. He doesn't give up the puck at random times, and he's not making 10,000 no-look passes. Okay, he is making no-look passes, but they're working. He isn't making 10,000 back and forth passes or overpassing, giving up the puck so it goes back the other way. He's shooting when he needs to shoot. He passes when he needs to pass. Ehlers needs to be on this line if they want to win, but it's not going to happen. Maurice is going to roll with his three. So assuming he's rolling Wheeler, Connor, and Scheifele, this could be a problem. They better fill the net. If they get 3 points a game, no problem. Their goal is to score. Their goal is to score goals. Nice. Good job, coach. But yes, their goal is to score goals. And if they don't, they are going to eat up a lot of ice time, and guys like McDavid and Draisaitl will torch them for it, because they are not the line that should be playing against Draisaitl and McDavid now. You put Nic Ehlers on that line, then absolutely get him out there all day, but you're not going to. Morrissey and Pionk better be playing together. If they're not, the Jets are in trouble as well. Pionk needs to be out there every single time Connor McDavid is out there, no question about it. And Josh Morrissey needs to hold back and not worry about rushing the puck or making offensive plays. He needs to support Neil Pionk because he's going to be busy with Connor McDavid. Can he completely shut down McDavid to zero? Absolutely not. The Jets would be delusional to think that they can hold McDavid or Draisaitl to 0 points. They won't. The question is, can they hold McDavid and the Draisaitl line to under 2? If they can hold them to under 2, they can win. They're going to get their 1 or 2 points. You are never going to completely shut them out. You just need to outscore them at that point. So do you give up your offense to neuter McDavid and Draisaitl? Because you'll just end up losing 2-1. The Jets are going to need to score 3 or 4. So the Wheeler, Scheifele, Connor line needs to put in 2 to 3 goals. The Nic Ehlers, Dubois, and Stastny line, which is projected to be their number 2 line, needs to go out there and be defensively responsible and put up 1 or 2 goals a game. That means we need to score at a clip of 3.5 to 4.5 per game to win this series. And then finally, Connor Hellebuyck is going to have to stand on his head. Can he do it? Absolutely. Has he shown that he can do it this year? Absolutely not. I'm not saying Connor hasn't stood on his head. I'm just saying Connor hasn't stolen one away from the Oilers by himself, which is maybe what he needs to do. And that may be asking too much, even from the best goalie in the world, because these are damn good players on the Oilers. The Oilers' key to success? Well, simple. Keep doing the same thing you've always been doing. The transition and the rush of the Edmonton Oilers is the Jets' kryptonite. The Jets are okay in their D zone. They're very good in the offensive zone, but they are not good at defending the rush, and the Oilers' biggest strength is scoring on the rush. So that Oilers transition game, we've shown clips before in past videos. Link up into cards if you want to see that breakdown a few weeks ago. The Oilers can move from their zone into the Jets zone in under 2 seconds. That's how fast this team is on transition. When the Jets generate offense in the Oilers zone and it ends up on an Oilers stick, they will be out of their zone and in the Jets zone before the camera can even catch up on odd man rushes. Connor Hellebuyck is going to have to stop these impossible shots across the Royal Road. He is going to have to stop McDavid and Draisaitl 2-on-1s all day. He is going to have to stop Alex Chiasson on breakaways, Kyler Yamamoto on breakaways. He is going to need to steal this series. If he can do it, I'm going to be mind blown and impressed and super happy, but I got to take the bias out of it. I'm making an actual prediction here. I'm not picking with my heart. So the key to the Oilers, transition, speed. McDavid's going to play 25 minutes minimum. The key to the Jets, the Scheifele, Wheeler, Connor line better score. Ehlers, Dubois, Stastny better put some in. Lowry, Kopp, Appleton defensively sound. Pionk and Morrissey paired together. Morrissey not pinching or doing silly things. Pionk on McDavid. Hellebuyck stands on his head. That's the way the series is going to be played. Can the Jets win? Of course the Jets can win. Just like the Habs can win. There's no question about it. But let's take a look at the tail of the tape in case you're doubting anything I'm telling you. Edmonton, Winnipeg. Edmonton's taken the series 7-2 from Winnipeg. We know this. It's old hat. They've run all over us in the playoffs. Jets fans will be the first to tell you, that's the regular season. The playoffs is a different game. Is it? Is it? This is the first time we've ever seen this many games played against two teams. And frankly, I hate to say it, as a coach, as a fan, as a hockey analyst, as a logical human being, and I'm not saying you're illogical, just my brain thinks this is logical. If the same result keeps happening and nothing changes, what is to expect you to observe a different result? I see nothing different from the Winnipeg Jets right now than I have all season, with the exception of they're disgruntled and on a slump, and Edmonton has owned them even when they were playing their best. 7-2 Oilers right now. Tough. Goals, heads up. The Oilers have put in an unbelievable 3.8. You can tell me all day if you want, if you're new to this channel, that if you shut down McDavid and Draisaitl, they got nothing. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if that's the argument, because they, the Jets, have not been able to shut them down. If you cannot shut down the top four of the Oilers, Nurse, Barrie, Draisaitl, and for sure McDavid, you are not going to win if you're the Winnipeg Jets. You have to hold the big four to 2 points or less, meaning 2 goals. 3.8, you're not going to outscore them when they're scoring at a clip of 3.8, because the Jets have only done it at 2.4. Very hard to score goals when the puck's in your own end, and Edmonton has proven that. Very hard to get rebounds when Edmonton turns those transition rebounds over into rushes and you're no good on the rush. Edmonton has proven that. Very tough to score goals when Edmonton moves from their zone to your zone in under 2 seconds. Edmonton has proven that. That is why this goal differential is so bad. It's not to say Winnipeg can't win this game. It's not to say that Winnipeg can't win the series, just Winnipeg has to do something different, and so far I haven't seen anything different out of the Jets. Goals in the division, Edmonton comes in at 3.3, good enough for 7th, with 2 players scoring. 2 players are carrying their offense, and they're still in the tops of the NHL. That's mind-blowing. That's how good those 2 players are. The Jets, 3.02. This was way higher before. This was 3.3 before the slump. They were right there with the Oilers, but for some reason, Nic Ehlers ends up out. There's a little bit of infighting. There's no defensive responsibility because you cannot score if you're not being defensive, because defensive means you turn the puck over. Turning the puck over gives you possession. You go to the other end and score. The Jets haven't been good at that, so they have lowered to 3.02, but they can find their magic again. Power play, best in the league. Of course it's the best in the league. They have the best player in the league. They have the 4 best players at getting points at their positions in the league. There's no question this is deadly, and power play and penalty kill units make all the difference in the playoffs, guys. The Jets come in at a very, very good power play themselves, 23.10, and that makes sense with all their talent. It was second at one point, but it slipped. If the Jets can get their power play right, this can be good, and they can be even with the Oilers on the power play. The penalty kill, very similar for both. Respectable numbers, 82% and 80%. The problem is 80% isn't good enough to stop the 28% power play from Edmonton. It's good enough to stop 15 or 16 teams below them. It's good enough to stop the Vancouver Canucks or the Calgary Flames. Sometimes it's even good enough to stop the Leafs, but it's not good enough to stop the Oilers. So don't let these numbers fool you. Edmonton's power play is a massive advantage in this game, and Edmonton's penalty kill is serviceable enough to slow the Jets down just enough. Jets stats led by Mark Scheifele, just over a point per game player at 61 points. Kyle Connor, 24 and 24, slowed down huge in his slump, but finally got a scoring touch back last game. Connor is going to need to score. He's a gifted scorer when he scores, but for as much crap as Winnipeg gave Patrick Laine, Kyle Connor goes just as streaky time to time. He just works hard at other ends of the ice. And one interesting thing that a friend pointed out to me about Kyle Connor is that you can see the frustration building on Kyle Connor's face because he dishes the puck a lot, and when he looks to pass the puck, it never comes back to him. So when you watch Kyle Connor play and he gets surrounded by 1 or 2, sometimes 3 players on the opposing team, it's almost like the guy has been shot or had his favorite toy ripped out of his hand because he knows he has to pass the puck, but he knows he's not getting it back. Unlike Connor McDavid on the Oilers, who dishes the puck and knows he's immediately going to get it back. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let's keep going through the Jets. Nic Ehlers, definitely the Jets' best forward, but after injury, how is he going to look in the playoffs? Blake Wheeler looks like he's stepping back up, and he's going to move back into that first line. Is it the ideal? No. Is he going to be there? For sure. Andrew Kopp slowed down since the second half of the year, but had a blistering start to the first half of his year. He could contribute huge. Neil Pionk, power play quarterback, Paul Stastny, Mason Appleton, Adam Lowry, Josh Morrissey, Pierre-Luc Dubois. This team is deep, guys. We keep going down. Most teams we've covered, we only talk about 3 or 4 notable players. The Jets just keep getting deeper. This is a very deep team that if they work well together, they can win. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Oilers. McDavid, 104 points. Draisaitl, 83. Barrie, 48. Nurse, 36. 16 goals for Nurse on the back end. These 4 are a class all their own that it falls off a cliff. Nugent Hopkins, two-way center. Talk about it all you want, but he's a replaceable level talent. Sorry, Oilers fans, get on me. Let me know in the comments down below, but you can replace this guy if needed. I'm not saying to replace him, please. I'm not saying cut him. I'm just saying he's available in the league more commonly than you'd think. He's a common card in a Tim Hortons card pack. Kailer Yamamoto, going to be a great player one day. Pretty decent now. Shea, all these guys are just here to support McDavid and Draisaitl. And what McDavid and Draisaitl do, and what the coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Dave Tippett, has been able to do, is get his team to buy into a very simple concept. We want the puck on number 97 stick. It's that simple. They're looking to get the puck to McDavid. They are looking to get the puck to Draisaitl. Headman the puck to McDavid or Draisaitl. If you are ahead of the play, wait for McDavid or Draisaitl. Everything is built around McDavid or Draisaitl, and why shouldn't it be? That's exactly the way it should be. And when they pass the puck, they being McDavid or Draisaitl, to anybody else on this team, their only job is to put it in the open net if they're already open, or to pass it back to McDavid and Draisaitl to drive the offense through them. Every time McDavid passes a puck, just like Wayne Gretzky, it gets him more open. It gives McDavid, like Gretzky, the opportunity to find those creases. Gretzky had more assists than anybody else. McDavid has more assists than goals because the player he is passing to is still a very good player. We watched Cahoon stand in front of the net, not move with his stick down, and basically deflect a pass from Connor McDavid off into the back of the net. McDavid can basically tell these guys, go stand just near the blue paint, open up your stick, don't move, the puck will be there. And it gets there because he's that good. This offense is driven through these two, and Oiler fans, you can be annoyed by it all you want, but that's the way it goes, and it works. That's the point of this, is that it works. The Jets are worrying about how many of their own players are going to touch the puck. You have the puck. No, you have the puck. We'll share with you. I'll share with you. Overpass all the time. The Oilers know how to win. Pass it to 97, and he will win us the game. Give the ball to LeBron. Give the puck to McDavid. Makes perfect sense. And you can win a Stanley Cup with that. So that is how this series breaks down. We've had a lengthy discussion about it. What is my prediction? The Oilers are going to take this in 7, and it's going to be heartbreaking for the Jets. The Jets will battle. There will be a few 2-1 games that the Jets end up squeaking through, but there will be a few Oiler blowouts against the Jets. I'm guessing the first 2 games are going to go to the Oilers, but the Jets are going to spend the first 2 games beating up the Oilers, using physical play and hits in order to buy themselves time and space for game 3 and 4. And I think it'll work for 3 and 4. I think the Jets will win 3 and 4. Then I think the Oilers will take 5, the Jets will take 6, the Oilers will take 7. It breaks my heart. And you know what? If I'm wrong, the best part about this is that I could just cheer for my Jets and be like, I'm an idiot, I'm wrong, and I'll be the happiest guy in the world. So there's my breakdown of the North Division, first round. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Edmonton-Toronto matchup for the championship. So as we go round by round, we will readjust our picks. We will put more tails of the tape up. This is just the preliminary rock all the way to the cup, and we're taking you all the way to the final. The ability to get a correct pick as the rounds go on from this point in the season, obviously it's tougher. That's why playoff brackets are hard. But we're going to see the Leafs and the Oilers in this bracket. The Leafs have owned this series 6-3 if it ends up happening. The Leafs have outscored the Oilers 3.4 to 2.4 in the series. Both teams know how to score, but the difference in this series is that the depth of the Leafs and the team camaraderie of the Leafs have had an answer for Connor McDavid, because as soon as McDavid gets off the ice, the Leafs have an unbelievable second and third line attack that shreds the Oilers. And the Leafs first line can absolutely play with McDavid. When you've got a guy who's got speed like Mitch Marner, sure, he's not as fast as McDavid, but he's fast enough to defend McDavid. When you've got a player like Morgan Rielly on that line who can go ahead and shut down McDavid, that is incredible. And then when you get caught out there with your line 2, that's still featuring John Tavares, a world-class player. There are world-class players all over this Leafs lineup right now that know how to handle and contain McDavid. But it doesn't mean McDavid can't shred them, and it doesn't mean the Oilers can't win this series, because the Oilers have one of the deadliest power plays in the NHL. The Leafs have one of the worst penalty kills right now in the NHL. The Leafs have a mediocre power play in the NHL. So this game most likely will come down to special teams and penalties. But here's the interesting thing. I've made a lot of fun of Leafs fans, calling them dirty, calling them cheap, and they were against the Jets. I'm never going to get off that hill. But for the most part, they're not. They're a pretty soft team, to be honest, half the time. And this I expect to be a pretty soft series. I expect a lot of skill, transition, back and forth. And because of that, I don't expect a lot of penalties. And because I don't expect a lot of penalties, I don't think that Edmonton Oilers power play is going to have the opportunity to exploit the Leafs. I don't. I think Jack Campbell will stay hot. I know Mike Smith is going to stay hot. I have no idea why Mike Smith is playing this good. Well, actually, I do. It's because McDavid keeps possession of the puck, and he's just frankly getting less opportunities because McDavid's out there carrying a la Grant Fuhr, but I digress. Mike Smith still sucks, but he's hot enough now to win a Stanley Cup. So is Jack Campbell, though. So the goaltending battle, I think it's even. Two overperforming middle of the pack goaltenders being hot as hot can be right now. And I expect them to both either be hot or both be mediocre, but either way, they're going to cancel each other out in this series. The Leafs depth ends up taking this one because the series isn't the battle we think it is. And the Leafs dispatch of the Oilers in 6. That means your North Division champions are the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What do you think?
What is that?
And that's our breakdown. And in part 3 of our 5-part series going all the way to the Stanley Cup. Stay tuned for part 4, where we talk about whether Vegas, Colorado, Minnesota, or St. Louis end up taking down the last division. And part 5, where we are going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, my other 2 choices for winning in their conference in the East and the Central. Link down below to find out who I chose, and we'll see who ends up in the Stanley Cup final in my playoff bracket. Thank you for being here. It was a longer one today, but this is our division, baby. Go Canada, go.